in real time, a moment goes by, but for you, it's been days. After the recent update to ABA, Itachi got a rework. And today, we're about to see if he actually improved. Like, subscribe, and let's take a look. Itachi's first move is Crow Illusion, which lets you stall or take damage before teleporting back to your original state. One cool thing is that there's now an indicator for anyone using Itachi, but keep in mind that you can't pop mode during this, and just like before, it can be punished. However, if you press the move again while inside it, you'll get a clone that explodes and guard breaks. But now, with Itachi's recent nerf, the clone cancels the rest of your illusion, and it doesn't last as long, which means you can't do this anymore. Next up though is Amaterasu, a blockable flame that seems like it doesn't stop. I mean, it only does if it's close to a player or hits a wall, but at the same time, it's really good for aggression and can be stacked with your clone. The move needs you to be close or aiming at your opponent, if not, nothing happens. However, you also have your shurikens, which you get by holding space or being in the air. It is blockable, but a combo extends and auto tracks, just like before. Now as for Fireball, it's a guard breaking finisher that actually extends. You can extend by up tilting or down slamming. Now in order to do that, you have to time it correctly. In my opinion, the up tilt is more reliable, but basically you want to time it inside your M1 combo. For me, it's around like 3 to 4 M1s. And even if you do mess up, right, it guard breaks, so if they block, you still get the combo. But for the down slam, it is really tricky. You want to basically time it while you're down slamming, and then you want to wait a tiny millisecond before M1ing again. But like I said, millisecond, right? So you have to be really fast. Anyways though, we're not even done, because if you use this during Crow Illusion, you'll get this one, which is blockable but extends. Pretty cool. Now finally, for Itachi's last move in his base. It works almost the same as before, instead having to be more precise. However, if you do stun them, they get blinded by a cool but extremely annoying animation that actually got a nerf. The move is much faster, matching the same stun as the Genjutsu, I assume. And originally, you can use this to like blind your opponent, setting up whatever you want. And if this title of the video is this, you can pretty much see now, right? So that's kind of obsolete, but still, I'm gonna keep it because every clickbait works. Overall, a pretty solid kit, even though he did get nerfed. But let's go ahead and take a look at the base rating. What I think makes Itachi a nightmare is variety. I mean, illusions are one thing, but the amount of stuff that this Itachi can do is crazy. But how exactly does that factor into things like comboing? I mean, he can combo, but is it really that good? Other characters have an easy time comboing, and even if they don't, they still have other options to rely on. Of course, Itachi has multiple attacks that can extend. He can stun you, uses fireball, and most importantly, during that stun, blind you, even if it's much shorter now. He's a pretty well-rounded character for combo potential, 10 out of 10. Now look, characters always have things directly in common. One thing I sometimes point to is health, but they're not all equal in that department. Some guys have a lot, and others, if they slip up, their health is gone. What Itachi can do is drain that health. Well, no shit. What I mean is, at any point. His attacks don't add up to death on their own. It's the combination of M1s that seals the deal. However, can he be punished off his fireball? Only with counters and other stuff. Can you simply just avoid his shurikens when you're casting attacks? No, a patient Itachi is the worst Itachi. In terms of fighting, 9 out of 10. Now let me ask you, what is Itachi's strongest attribute? Because in some cases, their strengths could lead to a problem. I mean, look at Yuji's base, extremely good if you can have one trade, but a basic amount of running can really be hard to counter because there's no long range attacks, and anything that might hit has a noticeable startup. I mean, the old Itachi couldn't just Amaterasu on base or pop a guard breaking clone that pushes the opponent. His strong suit now is that if you shut him down in one aspect, he still has other options to change the fight. And that's why he's gonna get a 10 out of 10. But how does he match up in team settings? Pretty well. I mean, in situations like this, you could be getting your ass whooped, but all of a sudden, you're not there. But let's say your teammate is struggling. If you're close enough, you can bring backup. And on top of that, if you're far, you can snipe them with a fireball and your shurikens. 9.5 out of 10. With that said, there's a lot of characters that choose to combo, but what matters the most is being able to do something out in the open. Itachi falls into a group where you can either have one trade or just randomly attack. And what's ridiculous is that you barely find yourself getting in trouble. 10 out of 10. But let me ask you, does his base require skill? Hell no, right? He's gonna be getting a base rating of 48.5 out of 50. And even though he got nerfed, I still can't lower this rating a whole lot, right? He's very strong. And yeah, man, he's just a very good character inside his base, right? The changes definitely improved him. But with that said, it is time for the awakening. To start us off, we have Amaterasu, which shows up again, and this version goes through block and lets you extend. Unlike the old Itachi, you don't have to worry about the flame damaging you. Alongside that, an added bonus is that the fire burns longer and stays where it's casted. But as for the bees, it tosses a projectile that slams the opponent, either hitting them for 40 damage or guard breaking them. As for Susanoo, it has two versions. The first one guard breaks or slams the opponent, letting you extend, and the second one lets you hold block, absorbing hits, and then firing back. But let's say you want a stronger version, hold it for a while, and then once it's done taking hits, it'll fire back, doing a lot more damage, guard breaking, and also slamming. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? I believe you can also attack during this, like by M1ing and move stacking, so abuse that in every single match, right? Now, I saved the best for last, Tsukuyomi, Itachi's most powerful genjutsu, the thing you heard about in the intro. It deals no damage, but it leaves your opponent defenseless, and it is also impossible to avoid because it goes through block. With that said, man, it's time for the rating. If you go back in time, you will see that Itachi's mode isn't even made for combos, but this version of Itachi makes a huge difference. With Amaterasu still going through block but lingering on the ground and not hitting you, it gives you so many chances to combo whenever you want. 10 out of 10. Speaking of that, finishing the job is what you need the most. When you awaken, assuming you're in the lead, you're concerned on making sure your opponent doesn't get demoted. Here, Itachi doesn't have to worry about being down 1 stock, or hell, down even 3. And depending on the character, if your opponent does awaken, just Tsukuyomi. And let's say you don't want to, you have a bunch of options that all do solid damage, enough to completely reverse a match. 10 out of 10. However, what I think is very important for any character when they do awaken is having other things they can rely on. For example, can you survive? Do you have an insane passive? Here, Itachi has too many things you have to respect. But what matters the most is Tsukuyomi, which there's no coming back from. 10 out of 10. But I think Itachi in the team setting is overkill. I mean, you can probably 3v1 or even 4v1, big AoE attacks, the black flame that lasts a while. It should be pretty hard to fight and awaken Itachi. Now finally, I have nothing to say for neutral game. Itachi's mode is getting a 10. I don't have to explain this shit, right? Which leads us to an awaken rating of 50 out of 50, right? Itachi's mode is very complete. I mean, most awakenings, depending on the character, will probably get a 50 out of 50, but you could put Itachi's mode on a different goddamn level. But look, man, right? You rarely have to worry about once you pop it. It only runs into issues when your opponent can survive your attacks. But as for price, he's getting a 9.5. I mean, these guys raised the price for Aizen, but not Itachi. Like, I know, like, Aizen is very good, right? Don't get me wrong, right? But the thing is, dude, I'll be honest, right? For the awakening and the base kit that you get with this type of Itachi, bro, he does not deserve to be the same price. But overall, I'll make like a video in the future talking about like pricing and ABA and stuff. But yeah, as for design, right? He's extremely slick, right? Very cool. His voice lines. However, the rest of his effects, right, and some of the animations, right, they look pretty cool, very cool, right? I will say I like Fugaku Susanoo, whatever his father's name is, I think. Is it Fugaku? I think so. But yeah, he's very good. 9.5. Now let me ask you, should you get Itachi and is his rework actually good? 100%. He's a very viable option and super easy to play. He's getting a 108 out of 110. And I do see people calling it a refresh because that's what it was said to be before, but I can't really lie. I don't really consider this a refresh because, yeah, it is somewhat the same, but his old awakening didn't have 2 guard breaks that combined 2 moves into 1. Right, for example, you look at the 4, it's the combination of Totsuka Blade and Yada Mirror. So how can I be like, yeah, that's just a refresh, bro? Like, no. For example, look at Stark, right? He's almost the same as his outdated version, right? His extender was, you know, his extender got more reliable, and he got his sidekick, and alongside that, a new variant of a move. Whereas Itachi, it created a whole different playstyle in my opinion, right? He has more attacks. The new Fireball track and Amaterasu, the new Fireball that tracks, right? And Amaterasu that also tracks, the clone, stuff like that. And, you know, even then, right? Stuff that did remain the same, like Demonic Illusion, is more visually obstructing than before, right? I don't know. It's just my opinion. I feel like it's more of a rework than a refresh, right? But let me know in the comments what you think. Right now, my record with Itachi inside rank is 23-3, which I believe is like around maybe 87% win rate. I didn't really play a whole lot of matches, like only 26, right? If I play more matches, I probably have like a worse record, possibly. Look, in the private server against my buddies, it was around, I believe, 31-8. I didn't really record every single private server match, so I don't really know the exact number. But Itachi is really good, and yeah, it does look like solid records. But keep in mind that that's because I rushed to get matches quickly to make this video. So I was like playing on the pre-nerfed Itachi alongside his like Tsukiyomi pre-nerf as well. So you can definitely use that shit twice. And you know what I'm saying? I wasn't even like try-harding with Itachi, right? It was just doing shit for most matches and bam, I won. You know what I'm saying? My worst stretch with Itachi was like 10-2, which is kind of crazy because I never do that good usually. Like we're talking about a crazy win streak, right? And like that shit never happens. However, man, Itachi, he's a very strong character, you know. And I will say I probably improved that ABA, right? Like although I don't think I'm good at ABA, right? I did definitely improve after playing Raiden for like 100 matches for his review. By the way, go watch that after this. But look, man, I will say he's a very strong character. Itachi's very good, right? You'll run into issues against guys that can like eat damage to deal damage, and you know what I'm saying. You also run into an issue against Itachi himself, right? He struggles against himself, right? And on top of that, bro, like I'm not saying go ahead and cheese your opponent, right? But fight smart, fight honorably, but fight smart, right? So if you're at 1 HP, don't fucking swing in the pocket and be dumb, right? Use your clone. You know what I'm saying? Stall him out for a second, bam, go in there, right? You have range attack, so play into that, right? Play like don't play like a bitch, but you know what I'm saying? Play good, right? If you win, you win, right? You know what I'm saying? But don't be no cheesing that nigga. But look, if you want more videos like this, right? Make sure you drop a like, drop a comment. You know what I'm saying? You know, share the vid if you want to share it. You know what I'm saying? And make sure you subscribe, right? You know, in the future, right, I want to hire a team of people that help me make these videos and push them out quickly, because I feel like if I had like a full team, I could definitely just like bam shit out content like that. Because even now, like balancing life and shit and balancing all type of stuff, like trying to do this, trying to do that, like it doesn't even feel that hard to manage properly. But obviously just because like I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket, right? That like usually I do reviews like once a month, so it's not really bam, going, right? But now I'm gonna try to do 3 in this month. This is one of them. Next up is gonna be the Yuji one, and then I have one that's already done, the Shadow Dio one. I have to go over the script a little bit more, and just re-add to the parts of the vid that are no longer make sense. But yeah, man. Thank you for watching, right? You know what I'm saying? It's a one-man team, right? Right now it's just me doing the damn audio, the editing, the script, the thumbnail, everything, right? So it's gonna take time to post, make more videos, right? The Yuji review will be out soon, assuming that he doesn't get like a crazy nerf, and assuming I can get it done for like 2 to 3 days. Anyways, dude, peace out.